PlayStation just dropped a State of Play packed with reveals. Sony shuts down one of its biggest studios. Solo leveling invaded Fortnite. One Piece is coming back with a whole new format. And somehow Spider-Man is multiplying again. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Let's go. Welcome back to episode 26 of KB Talks, the show where gaming, movies, and anime all collide. I'm KB, and today we got a loaded episode. But before we get started, make sure you're subscribed so on Tuesdays and Saturdays you're locked in for gaming live streams. Now let's jump right into it. Starting with PlayStation Plus for February. Your PlayStation Plus monthly games are Undisputed, Subnautica Below Zero, Ultros, Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. All have been available since February 3rd. It's a solid month. Undisputed give boxing fans something real. Subnautica Below Zero is one of the most atmospheric survival games. Ultros bring that psychedelic Metroidvania energy. And Ace Combat 7 has high-speed chaos in the skies. But that's just the base tier. PlayStation Plus Extra for February includes Spider-Man 2, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, Neva, Season A Letter to the Future, Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2, Venba, Echoes of the End Enhanced Edition, and Rugby 2025. Spider-Man 2 being on there, it's crazy because that's one of Sony's heavy hitters, and Monster Hunter Stories is perfect timing because they're trying to ramp up momentum for Monster Hunters. For premium tier, it's just Disney Pixar's WALL-E. Retro nostalgic drop, but WALL-E fans are eating. Now, outside of PlayStation Plus, let's talk about the State of Play. PlayStation's recent State of Play delivered over 60 minutes of third-party and first-party updates. We've seen gameplay reveals, release dates, and deeper looks at upcoming titles. During the State of Play, I was on my way to work, so I couldn't react or record. So I was watching it on the way to work. There were about 4 times I really got excited. The first time being they announced Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered. Launches March 3rd, 2026. They showed us updated visuals, modern lighting, improved camera, and redefined controls, and bonus archive content. This isn't just an upscale port, it looks like they actually respected the atmosphere, and that matters. Legacy of Kain was never about button mashing, it was about tone, mood, and gothic tragedy. This got me excited because we just got Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered. And Sony also has Blood Omen, I believe 1 and 2. Yeah, they have Blood Omen. But I think it's a little... That game was before my time, so that kind of gameplay style doesn't mesh with me. But I like the story. We got Soul River 1 and 2. Then we got now we're getting Legacy of Kain Defiance. It's I like that they're bringing the series up to date, but they didn't just stop there. They announced Legacy of Kain Ascendance. It's a 2D fast-paced action platformer set to release on March 31st, 2026 for consoles and PC, marking the first entry in the series in 22 years, developed by BitBot Media. It features pixel art, anime-style cinematics, and a 4-hour runtime focusing on the prequel era with playable characters Kain, a pre-fallen Raziel, and a newcomer Elias. They put out a trailer that offers the first look at the gameplay and the story of Legacy of Kain Ascendance. Now that was the first surprise for me. The second, it was I got excited, but then 5 seconds later, I was like, all right, I'm cool. Because the logo for Star Wars, the Star Wars racing game that they're putting out, I I got excited thinking it was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, because that's been announced forever, but it's been announced forever, but there hasn't been any update. I mistakenly thought we was about to get an update, but we didn't, and it was just a Star Wars racing game. But they showed actual gameplay for that. I wasn't really excited. I don't really care for racing games, even if it's Star Wars, but the one of the things I really got excited for was a full AAA John Wick game reveal. It's cinematic, story driven, and it looks exactly like Keanu Reeves. So he's doing the voice as well. It didn't show, like, they probably did show gameplay, but it wasn't like regular gameplay. It was like in the trailer format, so you don't know if it's gameplay or not. But if they nailed the combat, I think it should be like a mix of Sifu and like, because I believe it's third person, so it should be like a mix of Sifu and probably, I don't want to say Uncharted, but that's one of the only few games I could think of with shooting, third person shooting. But I got really excited for that because I've been saying forever we need a John Wick game. But then after that, we got a revival. Sony shadow dropped God of War Sons of Sparta, a 2D Metroidvania style spin-off celebrating the franchise's anniversary. It's a digital release, faster combat with Greek era brutality. And it also features the original Kratos narrating the game. And if this feels like a love letter to the original tone, less reflective fatherhood, and more angry demigod. But this was all. Sons of Sparta is a prequel of what comes before God of War 1. And Kratos is telling the story to his first child. And then they go ahead and confirm early development on a full God of War Saga, Greek Saga remake for PS5. No gameplay yet, but just the confirmation alone, that's enough to set everything on fire. And they're also bringing back the original voice actor for Kratos. We don't know if they're changing the gameplay style to match God of War 2018 or they're gonna try to keep it the same. Then they announce Silent Hill, Townfall, and finally showed real gameplay. It's a first person perspective like all other Silent Hills. It's a psychological horror focus, slow pacing, oppressive tone. It looks uncomfortable in the best way possible. And the main character is a black guy. We also got a new story trailer for Resident Evil Requiem. It's still survival horror, still tension driven, and Capcom hasn't missed in this franchise lately. I'm not a big fan of Resident Evil, but I like Leon. They're bringing him back. But putting that to the side, they gave us a bunch of new heavy hitters. I mentioned earlier the John Wick game. There's also, I'm guessing, Control 2, which is Control Resonant. It's an outdoor environment, expanded abilities, and bigger scale. Remedy is doubling down on word fiction, and I respect that. I played the first Control, but never finished it. I thought I thought it was cool, but then after that, they announced Crimson Moon, a gothic action RPG. That This is one of the ones that I also got excited for, but I didn't know what it was at the time. It's a dark fantasy, with heavy melee combat and cinematic tones. This entire showcase had a "we like shadows now" energy. Then they showed extended gameplay of Sorrows, the roguelike structure explained. It has fast, heavy combat and House Marquee DNA everywhere. They confirmed Death Stranding 2 with PC expansion and new modes. I was never a Death Stranding fan, so I'll skip that. Then Bungie's Marathon announced a Server Slam preview weekend. Extraction style competitive gameplay. And they're trying to chase the next big multiplayer ecosystem. I don't know if I'll get Marathon, but I will try the Server Slam, which is coming out February 26th to March 2nd on PS5, Xbox, and Steam. It's a final preview before the game's March 5th launch, which allows players to test 5 of 6 runner shells across 2 zones. So I'm gonna check that out. I'll probably stream it, but we'll definitely check that out. They let us know Spider-Man 2 is joining PlayStation Plus. But here's what stood out to me. This wasn't a safe showcase. This was a nostalgia revival, horror resurgence, and dark fantasy dominance, and legacy IP reinvestment. Sony is clearly betting on emotional memory, bringing back brands people grew up with, and I'm okay with that. They also showed one game. I don't know if I'll play. I need to see more, but it's called Project Windless, and you run around as a chicken on steroids. Like, people all over the internet is calling it God of Chicken, which I think is funny. But overall, I think it's their strongest state of play. Legacy of Kain coming back is huge. God of War Greek remake is massive, and Silent Hill is looking serious again. I'm still mad about them canceling PT, but that's for another time. Let me know your comments. What was your favorite reveal of this state of play? But moving on. Moving on to what happened after the state of play. The industry reminded everyone that gaming is still a business. Sony has officially shut down Bluepoint Studios. This is the same studio behind remakes like Demon's Souls and Shadow of Colossus. It's a talented team, strong technical pedigree, and now it's gone. I don't know the story behind it, but I felt like Bluepoint Studios was the perfect studio for them to bring back old classics that they didn't have anymore. They were this was the perfect chance to build that up, but I don't know if they were trying to make a new game and it just spiraled out of control to where Sony decided to shut them down. But studios closing is always rough, and it shows how volatile the industry is right now. Even high quality teams aren't immune. I don't know if they'll be, because since it's shutting down, I don't know if those people are leaving to different companies, or all I know is right now is very scary for many studios right now. I seen a bunch of industry insiders saying this is just the beginning. It's not over yet. So we might get a couple more announcements of different studios shutting down. Cause I've said it before. Some of these studios don't need to be making games that's like cost a crazy amount, and then you gotta oversell just to break even or make any profit. Like, but that's the way they're going. But from studio shutdowns to anime crossovers taking over gaming. Finally, finally, finally. It's been hinted at for a while, but They gave us Power Rangers Dino Thunder. We got the White Ranger from Dino Thunder and the Black Ranger from Dino Thunder. Then a day later, they give us Sun Jin Woo. So Solo Leveling has officially joined Fortnite. They gave us 3 characters. It's Sun Jin Woo, Igris, and Hunter Cha, who becomes... I'll stop that spoiler for later. But we got the Jin Woo skin, cosmetic bundles, and anime continues to dominate crossovers. Fortnite has become this weird cultural blender where Marvel, anime, gaming icons all coexist in one digital arena. It's fascinating, and I want to know who's next. But I do have a few critiques. Just the bundle alone was almost 5,000 V-Bucks. That's like basically $40. $40 just for the bundle. Then Igris looks the best. And out of the 3, Jin Woo looks the worst. They could have picked a different outfit, like give him the blue jacket, then like, I'm trying to think, because they didn't go with the anime style. It seemed like they went with the mobile game. But some of the Fortnite crossovers I feel need a redo, because the Dragon Ball one, they look horrible. That's like the main one. Like just re-update them or something, or just put out a different version. But that's it for the gaming side. Anime fans, it's your turn. One Piece is officially coming back April 5th, 2026 with the Elbaf arc. And here's the historic part. The series is switching to a seasonal format for the first time ever. That's massive because One Piece has been weekly for decades. But seasonal means tighter pacing, better animation quality, and less filler, which could change everything because One Piece's pacing takes the cake as one of the worst. But staying on adaptations, a TV special for I Got a Cheat Skill in Another World drops next month. Another entry in the overpowered isekai genre. We know the formula by now, but fans love it. I've been trying to read the manga, but it hasn't got in that far. So maybe after the TV special, we get an announcement for another season. But I like stories like this, and it's real enjoyable. But speaking of stylish action, Devil May Cry Season 2 officially premieres May 12th, 2026 on Netflix. Demon hunting, flashy combat, Dante being Dante. Netflix seems confident in this one. And it shows how they're trying to... Netflix is quietly trying to take over every almost every industry. They hit in the anime. They're trying to work their way up with anime. They're about, if they get Warner Brothers, they about to move into movies, but we'll just have to wait and see. But before we get to movies and television, I got 2 recommendations for you guys. I got 1 manga recommendation, 1 comic book. The manga of the episode is I Became a Munchkin Skill Thief. Now, the description for this is Crash is betrayed. On the brink of death, he triggers a one-time regression. He can't use it again, but he now has future knowledge. He steals skills, refines them, stacks them. It's revenge meets power scaling done in the most unapologetic way possible. If you like calculated protagonists and broken ability systems, this one is worth checking out. Once again, the manga of the episode is I Became a Munchkin Skill Thief. Now, for the comic of the episode, is New History of the DC Universe, the Dakota Incident. This dives into DC's deeper timeline and expands on the Dakota Universe lore. For long-time DC's readers, this is one of those continuity expanding pieces that could ripple into bigger events. And this also has a bigger meaning because one of the writers for this story said they're trying to do a challenge to get this book to 100,000 sold because because DC has went over 1,000 days without a black character having a lead in any book. Now they're trying to get this book to 100,000 sales so that they can get probably another static book, but they're trying to show DC that people want lead books with black characters. I don't know why they choose not to do it, but the choice is theirs. Like, I think the easiest would be a static book. You could have did a mini series with Mr. Terrific because everybody was loving him in the Superman movie, but this is a problem in the comic book space right now. No black people having any leads. So I bought the book online. I might buy a physical book, but I've read it. I enjoyed it. Now I want you guys to read it also. Please go out, buy this book. I believe it's only $6. So once again, the comic book of the episode is New History of the DC Universe, the Dakota Incident. This comic is trying to aim for a bigger movement. So please try to help out. And so the 2 recommendations for for the episode are, once again, the manga is I Became a Munchkin Skill Thief, and the comic is New History of the DC Universe, The Dakota Incident. Go out and check those two out, especially the comic book. And now that we're warm up, let's slide into the chaos happening over in Hollywood. First up, there's an animated Venom movie is officially in the works. It's directed by Zach Lebowski and Adam Stein, and Tom Hardy is involved in some capacity. Animated Venom actually makes sense because you can go darker and wilder than the live action Venoms we got. And animated so far, if it's as good as the Spider-Verse movies, then it will do exceptionally well, because people are already gonna check it out because it's Venom. Hopefully, I don't know if we're gonna get like a not a sneak peek, but maybe they have a Spider-Man in there. I don't know if they're going down the route of the Venom movies, but I think they should just, at this point, just make Venom the Venom we all know he's supposed to be, with the spider symbol on his chest and Spider-Man villain. But the Spider-Verse expansion doesn't stop there. We got the first trailer for Spider-Man Noir. Sony has confirmed films for Spider-Punk and Spider-Gwen are both in active development. I think those two are going to be animated as well, like the Venom movie. I don't think they'll put them in live action, but we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully, the quality stays consistent with the Spider-Verse films and doesn't like crash out. But at this point, Sony is building an entire Spider multiverse ecosystem, and it's risky as hell because we still haven't gotten a trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day, but we're getting announcements for all these Spider-Man projects. Not Spider-Man, Spider-related projects. Last time they did that, we got all the Sony Spider-Man villain movies, ranging to different qualities. I like the Venom movies, but everything beside those were not it at all. But let me know, what Spider-Man project are you most excited for? Most people is probably Spider-Man Brand New Day, but which one are you most excited for? But that's the full rundown across gaming, anime, movies, and television this week. Studios shutting down, massive anime format shifts, Spider-Man multiplying like comic book mitosis. 2026 is already shaping up to be a wild year. If there's a topic you think I should cover, drop in the comments or hit me on Twitter at KB Streams. Thanks for hanging out with me. This is KB Talks, the place where gaming, anime, and movies collide. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.